Well, what a day. Now I've added something which I hoped it would be cooler. But look at the chat. Look at the chat. It seems to be working. It seems to be working. It does need a lot of, not a lot of, but some preparation beforehand. Just kind of cool. Now, of course I'm asking you if your day was amazing, because mine wasn't. At least someone's day should be amazing. I don't know whose, but congratulations on the amazing day, dude. How are you doing? How are you doing? I like the microphone now, though there is something here. There is this and this. Okay, now I can hide this and this. I tried some settings. I did some settings for the streaming quality. It should be greater now. It should be awesomer. At the same time, I did find out how to put the chat and make it look cooler and not the old YouTube chat, as you might put it. Now, since I've had this day, let's just put some background music. Let me just put some background music, because it's quite lonely out here without some music. Now, of course, I think you can hear me basically properly better here. I haven't even planned what I'm gonna talk about. It not even in the slightest. I'm sober as fuck, which is probably why I have the cold. Not the cold, but I feel my body just fighting something. So I have the, what do you call it, the jigglies when you're trembling a little bit in the inside, when your body feels colder than usual, the air feels colder than usual. And maybe it is, along with this incoming autumn. Maybe it is. Now, of course, as years will pass, summers will be hotter, maybe, but the important thing is the cold seasons will be colder. And that's because we're living in an impending ice age which could last tens of thousands of years. So best not worry about that. But what should we worry about? What should one worry about? I don't know, because Russia apparently orders partial mobilization for annexation referendum, which will include the annexation of Ukraine or certain parts of Ukraine. Not really sure. Maybe it will happen, maybe it will not. Speaking of days that were not the most productive, well, I've done my thing. Today, well, recently the sewer was clogged at the workplace, so it started to smell a lot and bad. And today a certain gentleman, well, came over as I was preparing some of the china. Let's input china into the algorithm. Now, the china I'm referring to the plates and everything. And this man came like, do you have a sewer exit here? And I was like, I don't know, you check it out, because I don't know, never searched for it, never minded. And he found it. And he opened it, clogged. The other one was clogged. Everything was clogged. And a smell, a stinking sewer smell. It was just hanging in the room. So that was nice working with, although I couldn't work in the main room, but I could work in the other rooms a little bit, so I didn't stress myself with working a lot, because I couldn't. Actually, I couldn't. Because the problem was apparently in our room. So have you sit next to, let's say, a sewer for more than a couple of minutes, let's say 2 hours, to completely immerse yourself in the pus and smell, and oh, it was disgusting. And maybe that's why I'm cold now, because I was exposed to those smells and that. Anyway, this person, like this gentleman I have, he was an old dude, and got the uttermost respect for him, because he deals with this kind of things probably on a daily basis. Now, he was not a private, he was hired by the city council, but probably he's like a freelancer. But he made it work like so quick. And I was thinking about this person, like he has to stay in this smell probably a lot during the day, and he wasn't even wearing a mask, so that means he's desensitized to this kind of stuff. But still, I could not have anything but respect for what he did, and I was thinking, like, there are some people out there that just, and usually men, because let's be honest, you won't see a lot of women doing this and resisting through this smell all day long and still be able to come home and think about the future. Like, I don't think that's possible. But for a man, a job is a job. You do it, you get your money, you're good at it. That's life. And you can still think about the future. Now, I was also thinking, like, having, for example, some daughters. Like, how do you describe because I don't think you can ever describe what you're doing, and even if you show them, I don't think they would properly appreciate exactly what it means to do this on a daily basis. Let's not say it's on a daily basis, but from now and then you just have to understand and go through this. And I don't know how you would do it, like if you wouldn't show them and put them like 6 hours into, not even if you show them, they couldn't appreciate. But man, you have some boys who take them with you, like sit here for 8 hours, and yeah, maybe you will understand a little bit what's going on and what you might have to go through throughout your life. And it's still, you're wondering sometimes, and I'm wondering sometimes, like, I still have this, let's say, cozy position. It's cozy, I'm not doing much, even though I'm financially unstable and decaying. Even the more it seems the more I earn, the more financially unstable I become. Because I used to be able to, well, let's not talk about luck and how he seems to appear wherever I'm not at. But other than that, it was quite an experience today, because here's the thing, I think the smell is still there waiting for me tomorrow. That's a great thing to think about. However, I will learn about it tomorrow, because I might need to do some homework there and isolate the opening. Because it was isolated before, and now as it was open, bam, work into a weird kind of smell, you know, sewer smell. But yeah, I know it's not the most a beautiful story ever told, but I do have to learn to describe the most pungent things, and it's quite valuable to be able to describe the good and the worst, because we're not living in the same reality. Each lives in its own reality. Some lives in others' reality. It's quite weird, isn't it? Existence itself. Because in someone's reality you're doing great, in someone else's reality you know what you're doing, and in your reality might not be the reality of those two. However, people do seem to think they know the rules of the common reality oftentimes. And we're getting back to those false prophets who usually tells you exactly what you should do, and if you're doing that and you're not getting the same results, then you're not doing it good enough, I think. But yeah, I'm still pondering about that. Feels pretty alright to be a little sober, but we'll see tomorrow. I still smoking. I will never quit smoking. I will never. Like, listen to this. Those are my cigarettes. Are pretty good, and before I can actually smoke a cigarette, I can always do something else. Not do something else, but for a second, just add some value to this stream, some class. So let us, as always, outclass everyone. Ta-da! Class has been adjourned. Now it would be ideal, let's say ideal, for me to understand notes and how to make them, how to make sounds. That would be cool to make sounds. Thank you for cracking. But being able to make sounds is pretty intense. I still don't know how to whistle. That's my... I think that's the thing that really hurts me. Like, I feel like I should know how to whistle, but I can't. Because every time I'm either getting this, I can feel the air leaving, but the sound not being created. You see, it's it's something, but let's not talk about it. I'm just transforming myself into an alien now. What do you call into a Chihuahua dog? Echo. Okay, so it's going with an echo. Okay, I'm turning one off. I'm turning one off. If it's echoey. I tried something. I think it's alright if I just hide it. But from what I can see, and if I'm seeing good, it's alright. Now, beside the bitrate, which I don't understand why it is not, and why does it do this? Everything is in green. I'm gonna change something now, and I hope for the better. God save the queen. God forgive the queen. Wait. What's going on? Oh yeah, I hide it. I hid it. Now, as the cold might get to me, and depression, depressive thoughts, let's call them, Yeah, God save the king. She died, and it was pretty interesting. I saw some reaction from the people, and they forgot, but they were pleasant to remember their traditions. You know, the traditions of the queen dying, or the king, or the royal dying. Because let's be honest, she is one of the oldest person. She was one of the oldest persons in. Now it's more echoey. No way, it's more echoey. It can't be. It can't be. What? Now I knew I heard one, but what is it? Shoal. Shoal. I think it's this one. Now, as I was playing the... Okay, hide. I think it's somewhere. I think somewhere I do have a thing. How about now? I think no. Why am I echoing? What really goes into this? Am I connected to some microphone I don't know about? What is going on? And at least the widget is not saying everything's in green. I'm... Jesus freaking... Maybe I go to settings. Okay, apply. Let's see, right now, I think I'm good. I'm not good. I'm never good. I will never be good. But I don't know where the echo is coming from. Maybe if I close this, I will close this. Oh, it's gonna be so annoying. Because I'm gonna close this. And now I don't know what's going on. But I'm putting this music here. Oh, is it still echoey right now? Let me just... How do I... Damn it. Queen died. Only voice. So you're saying it's alright now? Or echoey just the voice? It's weird. It's weird. Anyway, how was your day? As I'm trying to figure out what should tomorrow's stream be about, because today I want to post a picture. Let me show you the picture I worked on today. As soon as I figure it out. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. Okay, so just my voice is echoey for some freakishly weird reason. Okay, microphone. Maybe I should... Hey, let me check this out. How about now? How about now? Is it going okay? I think now the microphones should have ended. I've closed one microphone and apparently the other one is still on. Was always on. Montre-moi Doudou. Do you know Doudou? Perfect. Yeah. Well, it wasn't possible to have it all, was it? Look at that CPU usage. I'm like 5% using the CPU. That's pretty cool. I'm getting closer. But do you see this picture? This is Pangea, by the way. I've used Pangea. It's for the story. Okay. Here it is, Pangea. Earth with Pangea, by the way. And I made some things here, like branches, like roots, like the roots of a tree, an entity, which is actually the approaching roots and the roots of Gimlo, which I'm talking into the story. It's pretty cool that yeah, check this out. Let me show you what I used. I used this. I used a lightning picture. Now let's go back and step it up. Did some cleaning, and now we have Pangea and the roots as they started taking shape as Pangea was happening, showing us a little bit of how old is actually Gimlo. Sure, it is a story. I don't know why I'm writing it, but I'm writing it, and it's quite... I don't know why it's so important to display these things, but it is quite... how do you say? Polite to describe these things, to understand time frames, I guess. As I don't want to make the same errors as the producer of Game of Thrones. No, not... yeah, those producers, weren't they? In the Rings of Power thing, where they try to, I don't know, like 2,000 or 3,000 years they compressed into a series. That's like exactly like compressing all the episodes of Dragon Ball Z into a single movie. You can't do it without ignoring lore and training and existence itself. That's why all the Dragon Ball movies suck, because it is so much time, so many things that happen, and you still make a movie in which he's training to become, he's training to use some kind of energy. Here's a quick tip: just skip the training. Skip the training. If he's Goku, people know who Goku is. You just have to show that he's Goku. He's like leaving his kid into the woods or something to his biggest enemy, his nemesis. But yeah, it's quite hard to explore millions of years properly. And I don't even know if I would be able to do that, but I just want to give an inkling about it, and I will work on it later. Now let's talk about another thing. I'm gonna talk a little bit and maybe a little more, maybe more than usual. I don't know how to close this window. Yeah, there it goes. As I told you that I'm been pondering the same thing with the juice being worth the squeeze, with actually achieving that. I forgot what it's called, but the same thing that happens when you with your body when you're going to the gym, like you're ripping some muscle tissue and other regrows, getting you to be stronger and bigger. But to do that, you must, of course, be motivated and know that you will get some muscle increase, some mass increase, while psychologically you don't seem, for what it seems from other witnesses, it doesn't seem like it can go forever and ever without some proper, some, let's say, happy, some what do you call the chemical in your brain that makes you happy, the happy chemical? How can I have an amazing lapsus right now? Melatonin, no. I think it starts with M. Dopamine. Yeah, dopamine, you're right. Now, the thing with dopamine, it gets released sometimes. It gets released not when achieving something, but when you're expecting something, you're expecting a certain result. That's why I had, well, it's the expectation, right? That's when the dopamine starts. So when you have a series of unfortunate events, let's call it, you have the dopamine there that activates just to continue in that way, because you're expecting something still. I mean, your brain is, your chemicals are expecting something to change it, but sometimes it doesn't come, so that expectance isn't fulfilled. So for a while, maybe dopamine is not even properly triggered. It's just triggered by bad things. And to get them to make them, to realign them, to provide, let's say, the good feeling for good scenarios, that must mean that there are some possible good scenarios appearing. But let's be honest, these last years, with the world how it is, with not the world, but how many are showing themselves, displaying themselves into reality, into your reality. It's quite a Herculean task to undertake. And the worst thing of it is, you're not sure even if it's worth it. Of course, many will come like, hey, why, and what do you want to do? Just rest like that? Like, that's the most I can do. Even if I try, even if I don't, that's how I am. Doesn't change. So, other people telling you how to do it and what to do and judging how you're doing stuff, it's still not a solution to this. Now I'm still thinking about the secret, because the answer still seems to be lying there underneath the secret. Now, of course, building a secret, as you mentioned yesterday, is quite a task. And building a real secret, not a lie, that's the harder part. But there need not, probably need not be a secret that's created, because there are secrets everywhere after all. But there should be something, right? What could it be that could make someone's brain change its structure? Because of course food is one of the things that does it, but well, there are a lot of things that does it, but you have to take those things and not be a total OCD person, which is quite weird and quite hard to not be fully engaged into this. Indeed, maybe some kryptonite would do. Who knows what effect it would have on the human psyche, but I was thinking, and I'm thinking about doing an episode, and it's it would be an episode because it has to be exemplified with video things and photos. But it's all about, like, let's think of the adversaries today. Not enemies, but adversaries. Who creates them? Well, usually us, we create our adversary, but you would be wrong into that. It should be usually women, I think. They're the ones that are creating your adversaries, your competition. But even if Jordan Peterson said that a woman is right when taking decision because she has more to risk and she is right about taking a decision, I do believe that he is right, that women are right when taking a decision, but let's say they're not the best decision making beings out there. So some of the things that they let's say not enjoy but look up to are constructed things, usually how do you call them, fake things. So they set people up in those games into achieving those things, like, let's say, steroids, money, which usually comes from cheating or drug dealing, which I don't mind. That's the competition. You're against a football team, usually, nowadays. No, they are not responsible. They are never responsible. But I don't mind. Each does its own. I'm out. I'm out for a while. And you think to yourself, like, if you want, usually when you want to be with someone, you like want to be them because you want to create something. You want to create memories. You want to create lasting memories, an ambience, way of living, right? And then I saw the prices at the apartments here, the houses. Oh my god. Like 250,000 euros, dollars for a single person. That's so much, so much. But you can do it in two, right? At least you used to be able to do it in two because you were trusting the other person. Like, you were in a, let's say, you in an enterprise, right? Like, if one goes bad, the other one goes bad as well. So it's not the best thing to live the game or just rig the game. Yes, like inclusion, of course, because what's happening there I don't understand. So now you have already single people that already know that they can't afford to just go on this on their own. So usually they just take someone. But as you can see, going at it alone, you know it might be possible if you consider yourself very lucky and have been seeing some lucky events in your life that might lead you to the possibility of pondering of building your small little nest, because that's what men usually do. No matter how cool they think you are, this is what men are always doing since, well, I think since puberty, when they start doing this, slowly building their nest to have a place to die. But now even that seems quite the reach, right? Quite a reach to be able to think about building a nest. And you know, the sweat and the actual smell or shit you have to take just so you can pay alimony. Now, I have this question for you because I was thinking about it a while ago, but it just popped up. Now, there were these people that were saying a real man doesn't pay for sex, right? Sure, I can agree with that. Do you agree with that? I do agree that paying for sex is not a way of training yourself to interact with women. But at the same time, I do understand that sometimes you just need to do it. But who gets to say that? Who gets to say this? Like, paying for a real man. Now, I'm trying to see who said it. Who said a real man? No, I don't know who said it. Anyway, let's get into this a little bit, because many of these people, and I think they're usually women, that say that real men don't pay for sex. The thing is, I still don't see the difference between paying for sex, having the sex going on, or paying alimony. Paying child support. Paying for a divorce. Now, I don't know how much it costs, but if you would translate it to to a visit to a prostitute, I think it would save more money for some people, at least. Or some people. Because if a real man doesn't pay for sex, then he is a real man. That who has sex and doesn't pay for the kid, right? Doesn't pay for anything. Like nothing. But, there are some, but they're not real men, because not paying a child support is not the same as not being into his life or buying him things or being there. It's just that once you have to pay your wife, your ex-wife, for that things, I think you could have as well just pay for sex. I'm not condoning it, because I still think it's a thing that people might get overly interested in, because hey, it does create some tension, some dopamine, and you think it's nice. But man, sometimes it is. I can't lie to you. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's just I just had it 2 times, so that's alright. But that's my view a little bit on these things that are in plain sight but not in plain sight, about where are people, mostly men, losing their motivation, and why are they failing to launch? Because there are hardly any ramps out there still going somewhere. There are ramps, but you're just like going into a hole. Like, it's a ramp, you jump on it, you get high, you watch the world for 3 seconds, and then you descend into the darkness. That's not quite the ramp that humans like, right? Really? Right? I might be boring, but now I don't know. I don't know if I am. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not, because I'm yawning, so it must be something boring in what I say. So why not just chill it on with the song? Chill it on with the song. And then we'll talk about one more thing in this weird sexual tension conversation. And then I'll just go to sleep and see how I'll wake up tomorrow, because today the only thing I smoked was cigarettes. Not feeling good, not feeling bad, but it did help until now with I don't know what. It didn't help at all, but it was funnier. I can say it was funnier. So let's get into the song, and then we'll see where we're getting at.
sex appeal, la policière me fait mouiller devant derrière, sex appeal.
Alright, if we were talking about sexy things and everything. Hey, I don't know. I know it's a weird song, but just so you know, this is the band. So they are dogs. They are actually transformed into dogs, which is pretty awesome. Are you walking the dog? I think. Yes, no. You're still at work? I'm not sure. Not sure. How is the dog? Is the dog good? Because I made some dog noises or today. However, you're walking the dog. Oh my god, why didn't you tell me that you're walking the dog? You should just told the dude I'm walking the dog. We would have just put something more in line with that. Like we could have listened to this. Like, check it out. This is for dog walking.
Through the gates of hell, as we make our way to heaven through the Nazi lines. Viva Victoria!
Yeah. Primo. Walk the dog. Walk the dog. Yeah, that's more like it. How am I in? What do you mean, how am I in? How am I on the inside? I'm I'm dead. Dead on the inside. What do you mean? No, I'm dead on the inside. That's life. Maybe something Jesusy will happen, but my hopes are not up about that. Though I still believe that it's a possibility. I will Jesus my way through this. Who knows? But I'm good. Dog, if the dog is happy, I am more than happy. I am dead also by the same time. Still dead inside. As I'm seeing just pure. I don't know what I'm seeing. I don't know what I'm seeing, and I don't know what others are seeing. So I can't judge. It's not that am not seeing some things, but I'm hardly seeing the outside anymore, which is kind of nice because I did call the most useless organism here, and that is the health department and health security, something like that. And they were as useless as ever as they were. They asked me to send again the papers that I already sent, which is kind of annoying because it's been so much time and it's so much of a hassle. Like, I literally had to just take time from my own work to be able to speak with these people, because I've tried it before. I tried calling them in the lunch break when I have the lunch break, but as you know, they have this lunch break at the same time. They end their day earlier, they start later. Just kind of great. Kind of a way to run a state institution which probably needs your information and most certainly needs your information and your requirements all the time. All the time. Every freaking thing. You need to send 7 times in. You have to remember that. You have to remind them that you have sent them, because they like put that old story. Well, yeah, you have to send this and this and this, but I've sent this. I've already sent this 2 times. I've called you, I sent it, I called you. But now they gave me another paper, which I do remember uncertainly that I might have already sent. But I will send it again, and hopefully one day, maybe a year. Maybe it will take a year until something comes out of it. But it's quite hard. Anyway, getting back into life, because I was still thinking about all the things I've seen yesterday, because yesterday was what do you call it, social study day in which they were talking about treating your, there were two English people actually, talking about the Andrew Tate and what's his other name, the other one that died, Patrice O'Neill, and how are they marketing treating women and Women Day and womankind in general. The basic idea is that usually you have to pimp your woman, you have to just sell her as much as you can, make her make money for you, and use it as I want to say an asset, but an asset is usually something that does not does not have a Pandora's box hidden. You have some information that you're getting out of. That's about it. That's an asset. You're getting something. You're not getting everything. You're just receiving an object, a particular niche of information or reward. That's their dating advice, and I can't deny that it's a good or bad dating advice, because most dating advice I've heard and seen here, it's like yeah, just treat them like third grade citizens and well, just treat them like nothing, and that's gonna be that's the way they should be treated. And I was quite well, I can't say I was surprised. I was just surprised of the what do you call it, the suivant, the oftenness which these advices are. Not advices, but more like this common knowledge here appears. So while I know that that's exactly what I should do, I'm really not interested into putting my energy back there into that. Just to have someone to treat like, just to have another person in my life to treat like shit. Like, why would you? Why would you? You're not even able to buy anymore a house together, because if you don't have the money to pay it for your own, why would you work for half a house that one day will be hers? Why would she work? But anyway, there was one contention to this argument, and that's what it was quite English in, let's say, yeah, English, in the way that these things that many people are indulging in, like advice, like to go to prostitutes, to prostitute your woman, to treat her like crap. Usually that means that you're actually creating some parts of the personalities for other people to deal with. And that's pretty interesting, because nowadays if people want to go, they have to not deal only with the partner, but the history of what they did to her. And that's pretty cool. That's a nice way to spend the rest of your life, trying to just get a, who knows how emotionally scarred. Well, they do get out emotionally scarred. Everyone gets emotionally scarred from a relationship or a thing, but imagine how you get out of one of those in which you are being pimped, and then being also expecting some respect, which is quite hard to give nowadays. And of course, that's one of the things nowadays, if you're going into getting into a relationship, like, that some damage has been done. You can see it. You can see the damage into her death cut. What do they call it? The 1,000 cock death stare. Anyway, it's usually a death stare in which there is nothing left there. It's just, hopefully this one will stick. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Though sometimes it is quite sad. I've met some people, and now they're older, in their 30 something plus, even 40, I think. Not 40, but like 35 plus. Even 31s, they're still talking sometimes, like they maybe they have a little belly, or they just ate recently, and they do that caressing of the belly, and people start joking like, hey, you have a child, and then you have to look at them as they look into the wilderness, even though you're in the middle of the city. But they're looking like, I'm not pregnant, but I wanna be. I don't have a child, but I would have loved to have one. Which sometimes it's nice to know that they already resigned these thoughts, and of course this will happen more and more often, because we already know that people are becoming more and more childless, or even if they have children, they don't have a family. It's pretty nice, because not growing up with both your parents at home increases your chances to become a delinquent, which is why certain groups are more delinquent. Usually certain parts of a city. Because you're pimp, because you're poisoning the water, you are sending those, you are sending, when you're, especially when you're having a casual thing. There is no casual thing, there never was a casual thing, but when you have these things, you're actually sending your frustrations further for someone to find a way to deal with those, and who wants to take that anymore? So for now we have things that are not motivating anymore. Women, money, because as I told you, it's to get a certain, to be able to afford an apartment alone, it's not even close to just, living a normal life, living, working, doing some stuff, just living your life without being a drug dealer. You can't really afford it unless you're highly paid and you have a good family, which is of course expected. But money is as well taken out, because the more we are, the less money we have, the more taxes on the. Yes, they are, because they're taxes of the environment. They're not taxes for saving the environment. They're just taxing your inability to produce cars that are less, I want to say, polluting, which of course nobody is able to do, and be efficient, because even though electric cars, the Tesla ones, seem to be efficient, and they might be efficient and good, you still can't start one properly in the middle of the night. Just you wake up and you have an urgent thing to do, and maybe when you came home there was no place to charge your car, so it's not a viable solution. So why even, let's say, just care about the environment? And by that I mean care about the optimization of our living with the environment, since the working people will always have to pay taxes for some dreams that people that never had a problem with those things, like public function of the state people, like they don't really know anything. Do they know what it is? Every coin on the gas, they don't feel it. I don't feel it. Like, I feel it, I can literally see it, not literally, but I can see it in my daily life, that things have gotten more expensive, but I still have to pay the decisions they took while being in a luxurious place, taken by personal jets to meet at that place once every couple of months, in which they discuss how to make me pay more. I guess that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. What else is there to care about? The state? Well, the state is the one that we've seen its complete inability to react and take care of its citizens in a crisis or during daily lives. So that's another motivation out the window. What else is left there? What else is left there? Because is there something else to win? It doesn't seem like a winning or even a worthwhile game to be played. Now, the only thing I am grateful, and maybe I'm grateful at the same thing, are the laws of gravity and this earth that is able to somehow maintain this body together as I'm trying to disassemble it with everything I do. But he keeps going alive, and maybe one day I will find why is he keep getting up? Why is this body keep getting up? Because yeah, there is a limit to how much a body can get up and wants to get up, and even has something more productive to do after getting up. But for now, it's getting quite difficult to just be excited about living and wanting to live, which with me I can handle it. I've always been this way, so it's not a great not a big difference. However, I did notice, and I always notice, that there is a lag between how the problems I'm facing as I'm testing this universe and the things that appear as I'm testing them, and between this and a couple of years from now. Usually one, usually two, but sometimes one, sometimes lesser. But I do see it as a thing occurring later in higher waves. And it's probably occurring at the same time, but it becomes more it becomes more shared, okay? It becomes more known. However, if I'm still on the curve on this, it might be possible that we find what's underneath the secret. And one of the theory is, and probably will be, as always was, the Joker. He's always hiding there. He has a secret, and you know how he has a secret because he's watching, he's laughing, he's creating chaos and order, stirring them all up. And he knows something. And as he knows something, he is able to do it. But the thing is, what does the Joker know? What is that he knows that makes everything absurd seem normal? That's the question that's actually to be found out. That's the true mystery that I have for myself. But it's still not a mystery that I'm inclined to invest my time in. Even though I will invest a little bit, maybe just the tip of the investment fund, but not more than that, not lesser than that, just a little bit. Because yeah, there is something there. However, just everyone is hiding it so good that nobody seems to be able to describe it. I could try to describe like most of it, but that would take me like years of just writing. But who has time for years of just writing when you have to pay for your health, for your teeth, for gas, women, house, and things that are breaking in your house, old. Because today I was blessed with another thing to pay, which is pretty nice. yeah, maybe with time, something will happen. But as time accelerates a little bit, which does occur since we are switching information quite quickly and we don't have time to rest on a single subject, so we get distracted and sidetracked from the real issues that happen throughout the years, throughout time, throughout thousands of years that we're still ignoring. But now the time moves faster, so we gotta make the money, which is pretty dope. Some people do. Even I want to do the money. I would do the money if I could do the money. However, apparently I cannot do the money. And there was a talk between a debate between some people that were talking about just changing what you want to do and do something else. Apparently, because you have a lot of things that you want to do, and you have times to do, and invest your own future in it. Apparently, you have those all the time. You have time to just switch it up and go and work as a plumber. No, I'm not denigrating plumber because I do think they make a lot of money and can do a lot of money. But I'm not really into plumbing. The only thing I want to plumb is some money. I want to unblock the clog of the sewage of money as it enters my pocket. I want to stink of money sometimes. Like stink of money, like ugh, so much money. Ugh, where is this money coming from? Ugh. I can smell the fresh banknotes just all the time. This smell hurts me, like the fresh banknotes. I used to like it, but now it just smells like paper, like old paper. Well, those are pretty nice too. If you could stop paying taxes, that would be nice, but you have to pay taxes because there are some fatherless children out there that need those taxes because, let's be honest, we're paying fatherless children and immigrants. That's where the taxes go. And some nice new buses, usually. That's now, of course, that is taxes or rent. That is the dream. That is the dream of many people. Most people do not the state does not love that at all. Like, what do you mean you're not paying taxes? Like, come on. The children need you. So they need to become delinquents. We can't have all the delinquents. No, it's money comes and goes. Money comes and goes, and each how they get used to it. But what I'm talking about the money is as well the expectation of it, the expectation of being able to do stuff with them, but with what can you do now with an average salary? Because you can't really get something. You can't really, let's say, even a year worth of salary, you're still not able to think that, hey, I'm on this on the long run. Yes, it has been done, the revolution, but the flame has been died down since the last revolution, because a revolution inside a revolution, apparently it's not conceivable. Indeed, in theory, it's the Ubermensch who are going to be able to just properly take on this world. However, I'm not seeing a lot of Ubermensch bridges, which are our generation. Not our generation, but the people living today. Usually, you could have predicted that in an area you can find some great people, but now everything is as unpredictable as it always was. So there's no reason to be upset about stuff like this, because things are always unpredictable. And hardly anything is under your control, so that's pretty nice to know. Pretty nice existence to be in. Damn it, what have we done with ourselves? But yeah, that's one of the reasons why the internet sucks. It is pretty good, it can get you so much information, but now they're actually trying to sell you stuff more than they're giving you information. Like they're catering, and that is 100% sure, they're catering the products they are selling to you to the story. Actually, the story they're telling you, they're catering it for you to be able to buy stuff, their stuff, my stuff. As soon as I can agree to sell my soul as well and do that as well, then everything will be with more money but no soul. So that's a quite hard thing, because we still have so little information about selling your soul. People say it's bad, but how many know how it is to sell it? Now, of course, I did sell my soul a long time ago, so now I can feel it. Yeah, nobody prepares like, hey, dude, don't sell your soul. And then, of course, the second one would be, don't sell your body. Don't sell anything that's yours. That's you. And I think that's the life lesson for today. To whoever buys it. To whoever buys it. And there's always a price on it. Me, I prefer to keep it a secret for now. Who I don't sell rent, I buy. Yes. Buying is okay too, and buying it's okay if you're doing it, especially for the house, for the household. That's all right. It just don't get into stupid buying like I do sometimes. That's pretty bad financially. Sometimes buying your website again, buying, I don't know, energy drink just because it's 25 cents cheaper. I'm not a good investor guy, but I can tell you I will invest in my sleep as soon as I put the song, because we're past our time. And thank you for being here. I hope you will have a better day today and tomorrow. And don't forget, if you're not dead, that means you're alive. And if you're alive, that means you don't die. So just do something, move your body. Well, at least I should do something, move my body to bed. Now I know you're moving your body and the dog's body as you went to dog walking. So that's pretty nice. And yeah, usually it's about creating light, but when you're taking darkness, there is so much light that one can create from darkness that it's not enough. But on a more positive note, the plumbing was made today at work, and I don't fear taking a poop tomorrow there. Of course, on company's time. That's all I can say. That's all I can say for now. Now let's end it once again with the precious song from the Rolling Stone. Well, yes, I am kind of a wise person, you know. When you're not dead, you're alive. And if you're alive, that means you can still do things if you want to. You just have the possibility of doing those things. However, of trying to do those things, that's the thing. Usually I think it was doing the things. Now you can try to do the things, which is quite the filter and the obstacle to go through, but I do believe that there is a word that can be put instead of try before doing, which actually represents an action that you do that proves that you are doing the thing and you're not actually just thinking about the steps to do it. Of course I didn't. Thank you. Thank you. And I've actually, I remember, yes, here it is. I've even saved it. Thank you for reminding me about the prayer. Let's have a prayer for tomorrow. This will be for these dark moments and for the good moments, to always remember that this is what we do for 1 minute and 40.
There is much to be skeptical of in this world, so it no longer surprises me to learn how many people don't really believe in anything. What's the point? For many of us, the road is a difficult one, but the path is always there for us to follow, no matter how many times we may fall. The good news is that we can help you find your way back. Naturally, some days are harder than others, but I must try. We all have doubts. The light of the mind alone cannot burn away all darkness. Think on it and look in your heart. It will be for the best. When the walls come tumbling down, when you lose everything you have, you always have family. The fire that had kept me alive was love. Their love. God's love. Right. You're not so certain. Fair enough. We all go through periods of darkness. Of course. In a world filled with misery and uncertainty, it is a great comfort to know that, in the end, there is light in the darkness. In such times, we can turn to the Lord, but it's good to have friends. And the good Lord knows there's much to be done here. You're a good neighbor to us. Thank you. Until then, God be with you.
There is always light in the darkness, apparently. But it is true. It is true, as the universe was created in the total darkness, in the void, which was nothing, and darkness brings more darkness, and it pulls darkness into the darkness until there is no more darkness to pull. And as that happens, there usually is a tear in nothingness itself, which creates matter. And since nothingness was broken and matter appeared, as the darkness touched the matter, light came out, and here we are. I should discuss the prayer one day. Everything happens in the world. Everything. Here's the thing. Everything. What happens? Maybe I will do. I shall discuss it properly, maybe more intelligibly, more on the subject, more on a proper path with all the things that makes you feel like there's no light in the world. There's no light in the darkness. And for many, there isn't. That's the sad part. Because no matter how much people say that you have to strive in things, you still have more slaves today than any other period of time, for those that think that slavery has passed, for those that think that criminal thought has passed. They have not seen the organization of multiple entities. And those who think that other people are taking care of the youth, no, they're not. They're preparing you for consuming. And the more alone you are, the better consumer you are. Just remember that the more lonelier a certain institution tries to make you feel, the more it wants from you. So don't give it that opportunity. Because, hey, there is always light in the darkness at some point. From my eyes? What from my eyes? Oh, what happens, in my opinion, what happens in the world. Oh, and what I can see. It is, I was thinking about that as I heard a way of a professor of I don't know, writing, I think, and he was discussing some of the things that people should do, and it's quite, that's the challenge for many writers to become good writers, is to be able to just describe things and people seeing what you're describing, because each person has its own view of the world. But what if you realize that the world might be so different for so many people that you cannot even relate? But yes, thank you. I shall try to remember this if you can. Because as you're not drinking, you are able to remember things. So from now and then you can still remind me of some ideas, because now as I'm sobering up, I probably will have lesser and lesser ideas. But thank you. It was longer than expected. It was actually 2 hours. Oh, and let's hear some talking about save the environment, become a hamster, apparently. And then I'll go to sleep. Okay? All right.
But anyway, this was, yes, plans for a $1 trillion skyscraper that stretches 75 miles across the desert.
Yeah, again, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, of course.
The line. You remember the line?
But the point is, I mean, you know, maybe they've got the money. Who knows?
Yeah, until it runs out.
Until it runs out. Yeah, exactly. Because it is going to be a zero carbon, entirely renewables field. And it's like, do you not recall what your economy is based on, Mr. Saudi Arabian Prince? We get rid of oil. How are you going to afford this?
Go back to slavery.
Well, we no longer control the seas, so I guess they can. But yeah, so this of course looks like cancer. And there was another video as well, like, and what would happen if Manhattan adopted a line, which I thought we may as well look at. If you can scroll down, there should be a video embedded in this.
To be honest, that picture of Manhattan alone is disgusting.
There we go. Right, so you can see, you know, I mean, this just normal city. That's what New York looks like. But yeah, just, you know, all of that space that you're occupying. How about you don't? It's like, great. Thanks. I really want to live in this tiny band. There's just, I mean, I'm getting like Judge Dredd vibes, to be honest. This sort of.
Yeah, I mean, you see them when they talk about it, that everyone should just live in cities. Get over it.
Yeah.
Because green energy or whatever stupid reason they have these days to argue.
Yeah.
So they don't actually care about any of the issues they'll give you. They just want you to live in these huge mega cities.
Imagine taking the inhabitants of New York and making them live in an even more crowded area. Like, I'm sure that's going to go brilliantly. But of course, it's not going to be the dystopian Mad Max or the Judge Dredd style hellhole that I'm envisaging. They're envisaging it as, again, being like the perfect hamster cage. And, you know, you've seen plenty of these tech girl videos where they're like, hey, everything is just, you know, provided for me and nobody ever does any hard work and I don't do anything with my day. That's what they're
Nobody ever
picturing.
disagrees.
Yeah.
We all
Because there
just-
are rules about disagreeing, Callum.
Yeah.
And this is offensive. But yeah, so these are the sort of people that they expect. The perfect ones from the Mouse Utopia experiment. That's what we're looking at. There are, of course, going to be other things that are being proposed, like Mr. Burns style evil supervillain plots, like dimming the sun. I mean, literally Mr. Burns' evil plot from The Simpsons. Because, of course, climate change. So why don't we dim the sun? I mean, we've got the means to do it, apparently.
I love how it's wonderful, isn't it? How climate change is just the ultimate justification to do whatever the hell you want.
Oh yeah,
You know, to depopulate a huge part of the planet. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You want to shove everyone into a big box, make them live like rats. So yeah,
Yep.
just go to climate change.
Also, maybe they don't need the sun.
Climate change.
Well,
Really is the fix all problem, isn't it?
the executive director of the Carnegie Climate Governance Initiative told the Thomson Reuters Foundation that climate change impacts could soon be catastrophic. It's like, but contact me when they are. Like, if they could, well, I'm not bothered, to be honest. But that means more extreme ways to cool the climate are now on the table. So, one controversial strategy, first pioneered by an evil billionaire, was to explore what is known as stratospheric aerosol injection. Wait a minute, chemtrails?
Not quite.
That is what that is.
Close, but not no.
That is what that is. That's a conspiracy theory.
No, it's a weather weapon.
Basically, yes. It involves spraying chemicals into the atmosphere to reflect away some of the sun's warmth. That's great. I can't wait to live in a Matrix-style, cloudy, doom-filled place where you look up and there's just a kind of grey sky.
Gray
We already live
sky.
there. What are you talking about?
No, we don't.
Well, I look outside.
Yeah, but that wasn't man-made. This is an entirely natural grey sky.
Island do you think you live on?
But
I love gray sky. It helps you
it's an
wanna
entirely natural grey
die.
sky, as God intended, right? I don't want a man-made grey sky. And the thing is, if you're in Saudi Arabia, you used to, like, you know, gorgeous days every day, and now it's just gloom, so everyone has to be as gloomy as us. So I don't think that's on, man.
Actually, that is some kind of restorative justice, actually.
But this will apparently hold down global temperatures while deploying technology which would only cost a few $1 billion a year. It's like, great, it's brilliant. And they are like acting as if that's it. So we'll just dim the sun and nothing bad will happen apart from climate change will stop. And it's like, really, you don't think there are going to be any knock-on effects from that? Like, there aren't going to be ecosystems that are like, actually, we relied on the sun to exist.
I'm pretty sure the CIA actually stopped using weather weapons just because they didn't know how bad it could get.
Imagine in the Nordic countries, because I can't imagine. I don't know how the Nordic countries can do it, and I don't find it surprising why they have such vicious gods. But yeah, those in Norway and those things like that, they have a problem with suicide, I think. And now that I've said the S word, I am flagged. One filter more on YouTube, of course. Because you can't say unsellable words. But yeah, they have a huge problem with self-ending, because that's the effect of not seeing sun for weeks, months, or even years. Who knows? I don't know how the weather works there, but I am not into gray skies. I'm not into them, but they are into me.
Well, we'll leave that for a
Sorry.
conspiracy theory podcast that you can
Mhm.
do if you want. But the point of all of this is totally against what a human being actually wants. And we know what a human being when provided with essentially unlimited resources, what they actually want and what they actually do, because we have the
Sun.
revealed preferences of rich people.
Shade.
For example, in Britain, right, one of the richest places and most popular places with famous people is Marlborough, which is a small town in Wiltshire. Just a very cozy old English town where apparently lots of rich and famous people live. So really, so that's what they want. When given all of the options on Earth, they go to a little English town.
Yeah. Tiny towns or villages.
They don't live in giant megacities in the middle of the desert. Weird.
You ever seen the house prices in places like this?
Yeah, they're unbelievable.
Great.
Yeah.
But you can go there and you just know you're going to have a good day.
Yeah.
None's going to annoy you.
Yeah. So, Trumpton is what they aim for. But that's not what they're promising you. You're going to be starving in some kind of futuristic megacity, like in China, incidentally. You may remember they recently had a lockdown of 21 million people. And so people were banging pots and pans, say, look, we're hungry. So, yep. I tell you what, man, by the end of this,
Isn't that a scene from Oliver Twist?
Yeah, it's
banging on the table.
It's a scene from Cyberpunk Oliver Twist, right? But you are going to be begging for zaboogs by the end of this, I tell you. Because, okay, this is China, right? What's going on over here? All right, well, over here, Amazon are like, yeah, so we're going to have palm scanning technology. Oh, God. Literally just give us your palm. You don't even need a chip. Don't even need the microchip. We're literally, you're all unique, aren't you? So, obviously, we're just going to scan your palm, and now you'll have access to food.
Nice.
Oh, God, I hate it so much. So this is just for the Amazon One. So, yeah,
I want to go in the
make your
woods.
shopping more convenient. It's just more convenient. Give us all your biometric data.
Hang on, so your bank account is tied to your...
China is still... Yeah, China was in lockdown. They did have, and still have, I think, a lot of them. They have... At some point, they had some drones telling them to stop shouting on the balcony. Pretty cool stuff. You have a drone just going in the night with speakers on, just telling you like you have to abstain for your soul's wishes for liberty, and the people took it all right. That's pretty nice. I think that's very nice to live in. Place very nice to live in. Seems like there's a lot of soul back there.
Thumbprint. And
it will be eventually. At the moment, it's just Amazon's stores, basically. Amazon's cashless Go store in Seattle that had it. But this then expanded to entertainment venues. So why not? You want to go to an amphitheater and go watch a show?
Technically, this kind of already happens.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you want to pay for something on your phone, you use your thumbprint to open it.
Yeah.
Well,
so why not? Why not just scan it? Doesn't matter where the information is going. Just scan your hand. It'll be fine. And what about for food? That'd be fine, wouldn't it? Be a good incentive to get people to just allow themselves to be scanned. Yep, 65 Whole Foods locations in the United States now having these. I hate it.
I like it. I want to see.
Any thoughts?
Just the image there of both the people wearing masks and smiling as well.
Mm.
I mean, they do always have to...
This is totally normal, guys.
Advertise it in the most dystopian way ever. You never just have people just looking a bit like, fed up of having to do this. No. So the American advertising of everyone smiling as they live in hell.
Amazon One creates palm signatures using machine learning to identify customers. While the kiosk takes a picture of a user's palm, the company says it doesn't store the image, but instead encrypts it and sends it to a server for matching. So I trust them so much. Why wouldn't you, right? And they say, as Amazon customers continue to give up their data for a more convenient shopping experience, you idiots don't understand what this data is worth to Amazon, right?
There's just people in the chat being like, they're not going to get my hands, cuts them off.
Be able to have a palm, be able to read a little in the palm, to understand what kind of work you're doing, how often do you have, so they can give you the right ads for you to buy a hammer that you're missing or a saw. A pretty good and safe. Of course it's safe. They will never ever release that information. Everyone is buying that information from everywhere, by the way. had this friend, he worked as he was calling people to tell them to invest. Now they had the bank statements of clients that earn above a certain level, a certain amount of money. So just a thing that should have been private, but of course it's not. Nothing is private anymore. So why not joke about it?
But concerns increase about privacy because if you use Face ID or fingerprint scanners, you already use biometric data. However, it's likely that some users aren't okay with the idea of Amazon One may allowing the company to track your movements. So yeah, so you are going to have to walk into a supermarket, you know, get your eye scan from Demolition Man, in this case a hand scan, and then you're going to be walking around. But the thing is, we're ignoring the complete decline of civilization here, because you'll notice that in the most futuristic places on Earth, they're already locking up the meat in cages. Now, this was New York
What?
City, where they were just like, well, we have to.
Well, fair enough. I mean,
Yeah,
you do live in
exactly.
New York.
I did see one 5 minutes before we started
No
of
way.
California literally putting just goods in cages that you had to get opened by the staff.
People listening as well, we're looking at a can of spam in a cage.
Oh, and it's
Not even anything
horrible.
good.
The
Spam
most
is-
unappealing of meats.
I
The
did you eat
joke
spam? I
meat.
can't stand spam.
No, it's disgusting.
It's
So it's the
disgusting.
joke meat that is so now important that it has to be locked away for fear of people stealing it. But again, you think, oh, well,
I don't
hate
believe
spam.
this is
no,
true,
you're
the
gonna be
spam
begging for
thing.
spam because at some point it's gonna be 3D printed meat apparently, which is disgusting. I don't know whether we can just watch this video in the background.
That's alright, but I do believe
just,
it does not
like,
provide.
why not? Why not have a meat slurry?
The thing with the 3D meat thing, I still believe you do not get, and you are unable to get certain qualities into your being to absorb certain, let's say, feelings, if I can call them like that, but they're not feelings. I still don't know how to describe them. So until then, just leave it at feelings.
That is constructed into a steak or a burger for you.
You just have some blood.
Just who knows what this protein is? The mystery meat slurry that's just printed into your burger.
Well, I assume stem cells, right?
I don't even know, and I don't care. I'm not going to eat it. But anyway, this is until, of course, protein itself becomes the problem, right? Because protein has an effect on the environment, as the Dutch recently found out. And so you can see that they're already, well, hang on a second. You wee protein, and that's bad for the environment. So you wee.
I feel like that's a Chad statement. It's like, yeah.
that is, protein is bad for the environment, and it's weird at the same time because we're not receiving the same protein from our foods as we used to, since they focus more on getting the quantity rather than the quality. So I think the proteic value and the energy value that you get from certain foods, it's different than from what you would have gotten in the earlier years of the Industrial Revolution. Nutrients, yes. Fewer nutrients than it should have had.
I eat so much protein, I even pee it out.
I do, but that's bad. That's a form of pollution. So you are now deprived of your boog ration, your printed boog rations. No, now you've just got to eat. I don't know, vegetables, I guess. Nothing but vegetables. This be this emaciated vegan population that's not even allowed to eat zaboogs. Klaus, you failed us.
Yes, it does pollute like the cows thing. But that leaves us wondering. Aren't the toilets in which we pee in, aren't the water and everything, isn't that, I don't know, just, what do you call it, filtered after some long processes, and then I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's filtered. Now I understand you're peeing at a tree, but you're not peeing at the same tree every day, so that goes out the window. But yeah, that's the story of what happens in the world a little bit. Maybe we will make a little story, and maybe, who knows, by next year we might have an inkling of what's missing, what's hiding under the secret. What does the Joker know that we do not know? Well, human wee is bad for soil unless you live in the line, because then the human wee will be much, much bigger, because there will be more concentrated camps of wee. But we are part of the soil. I don't know why are we distinguishing ourselves from the soil, because we are the soil itself. We are a product of the soil and the soil. However, now apparently many think that they can control the soil, which is pretty arrogant, a pretty arrogant thought to have, that you can enslave an entire planet up to your will, and at the end of the day, your will sucks. It's alright. Acid and bacteria, we lived for millions of years. The earth survived with it. Now I do think that we should be able to filter it, and filter it properly, and learn how to filter it better to be more optimized, I want to say, but the processes to be more optimized into getting the best result we can from filtering our waste. Now that's alright, but paying taxes to let's say not pee so much, that's not cool. So it's been 2 hours, yes, more than 2 hours. Here's the thing: drink water, get some sleep, kiss your loved ones, have a great night, take some rest, because I'm thinking about it. I am like Horus. At night, when you're sleeping, fighting what his enemy, what Horus, Set? Was it Set? I think it was Set. Okay, hippopotamus. Set, yes. Anyway, that's usually what gods were made for, by the way. To actually take the pressure of humans that were constantly thinking about how the world is, and it's not good. It's not good. And brush your teeth if you can. Floss is good. And damn, it's disgusting to see how much waste I have between the teeth, not just on the teeth. It's quite it was quite revealing trying it for a few days, and now I'm still doing it. Now I think a better solution to flossing more often is to have floss around the house, maybe in front of your computer as you eat, to floss afterwards. But yeah, the teeth are expensive as fuck. They are. I know there are. I can feel it in my budget. I can feel it in my everything. It is indeed quite expensive to have teeth. And solid food at the same time. Don't eat just liquid food. If you're not eating some chewy food, then what are you even doing? You should, normally I think you should chew for a couple of hours a day. But yeah, eat good food. These are normal stuff. Or if you're doing them, then you're already on the right path. But some people don't see any reason why, any light, why, of how you can get into that, as people put things pop in one after the other, so you're getting distracted and distracted and distracted. But you can always drink some water, as water is our last connection to the earth. I bid you a good night, and hope you have a nice dog walk. I'll see you on the next one. Good night, dude. Good night, dude. Kiss you all.